thanks for watching. Today we are talking about how to identify and change eating patterns when you are filling your stomach, when you really need to fill your heart, and how food, sex, relationships, and your body are all interconnected. I think there's not a lot of awareness around that. And then we are going to give you techniques for changing eating patterns or eating habits that don't serve you when you're misusing food, and we'll get to that at the end. All right, I am Lauren. I have a master's in psychology and nutrition. I'm a health coach and life coach. And
I am Steph, and I'm a certified health coach, personal trainer, and I am a mindset and emotional breakthrough expert. And we are the creators of Phat Girl Fitness. If you're new to Phat Girl Fitness, it stands for psychology, health, attitude, training, and Lauren, transformation.
Yes, holler.
We're all about the mindset of eating. With the backgrounds that we have, we join forces, and together we help people break through. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. We help people break through those weight loss and eating barriers and actually see lasting, permanent results.
Holler.
Yay! So, Lauren, what have you been up to?
Well, last week, if you were watching, I put together a Ghetto Fabulous.
So good.
So,
I got to
recipe.
enjoy that.
Yes.
Normally, I don't, you're not the one, we're in it, so
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it, but watch it, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was like
You should
Blair
go check it
Witch
out.
meets, some Ghetto
In the
Fabulous.
kitchen.
Yeah. So the lighting isn't perfect, but actually the recipes are really good. I've been tweaking those recipes for so long because a lot of stuff online it's just not perfect. So if you want to make a gluten-free, low-carb pizza crust, check out that video.
Yeah.
And besides that, I've just been chilling.
The
working
recipe also is going to be in the last 5 to 15 pounds
Oh,
program,
yeah.
which you can find on phatgirlfitness.com. Sorry to interrupt.
No, we're excited about that, and that's all I've been doing really is, working on our Blast the Last, which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's launching on September 19th, is that correct?
The program will start on September 19th. So if you're looking to lose that last bit of weight and keep it off and make that major psychological shift, then sign up for our program.
Yeah, then we better see you there.
Yeah.
And it's a group program, which is so fun because it's got a lot of energy and a lot of motivation, and that's what I love about the group programs. It's just like, the energy is there and it's strong.
Yeah.
So,
and what have you been up to?
Me, I have been away. So I went on a road trip with my fiance to Utah. And actually, first we started in Utah. We went to this place called Redmond. They make incredible health products. And I got to see the real operations, how they really do it, which was so cool. They make real salt and Redmond clay. We'll tag them in the comments below if you guys want to check them out. They're awesome. Such a good company. Got to go down in the salt mine and see it. Got to go on a houseboat in Lake Powell, which was insane. Like, it's so gorgeous. And we just rode jet skis and had healthy, delicious meals. It was really, really wonderful. So I'll be posting some stuff about that. And then I was in Las Vegas for a modeling job. So a lot in a very short amount of time. Lauren and I are so excited to be back together. And we're really like putting the final finishing touches on the Blast the Last 5 to 15 pounds. And we're talking about this topic today, which I have to say that Lauren was super excited about, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I got nervous.
Why?
I'm a little bit, I grew up Catholic.
So did I.
Yeah, oh, we both did. I almost forgot about that. So we grew up Catholic, and I still hold on to a little bit of my Catholic guilt about sex. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about, which is exactly why we're talking about it. Because you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. If you're afraid of it, then there's probably something for you to learn and grow from.
Yes.
So I'm excited to grow from this experience of talking about sex, relationships, and how it relates to food.
Yes. Always conquer your fears by moving through them, not away from them, and they grow. Right. So how have you, it makes you uncomfortable, so how have you ever used like
if you see the pictures, you'll know. The pictures we took about it. Oh my gosh.
There was a lot of laughing involved.
Yeah.
Awkward laughing.
Awkward laughter.
But Steph, so have you ever felt like thoughts or anything around sex or relationships you've used food to just maybe stuff down or ignore?
Yes, that's a really good question because yes, the answer is for sure yes. I think the suppression of any kind of emotion leads to a overcompensation of other things. In any of your area of your life, sex specifically, you know, if you don't feel like you can talk about that with people or experience that, or do it in a way that feels like you're not doing something wrong, if you are feeling any of those feelings, then there's going to be some sort of, the world is in balance, you know, homeostasis is a big thing. So when you can't talk about this, there's this big imbalance, you're not here. And I stopped it with food for a really, really long time. And like, I still feel uncomfortable talking about it. I'm a lot more comfortable with the concept now, but talking about it still feels a little bit like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to do this. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about this with other people. So I wouldn't be surprised if afterwards I thought about eating, because that would be the thing that I turned to afterwards. The cool part about it is now we have tools and all kinds of things that we have put into place for ourselves and put into the Blast the Last 5 to 15 pounds that I can use afterwards so that I'm really processing and really feeling the emotions instead of stuffing it away and pretending like, oh my gosh, I can't, you know, experiencing bad emotions, I'll experience good ones. And it won't end in binging.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you said that is really true. First of all, binge eating disorder is the most common eating disorder in America, at least. And so, yeah, I think a lot of women are raised like, I can't talk about this, or I have to be this certain way, or like being sexual is bad, or talking about sex is, you know, not a good thing. Yeah. And that's why binge eating disorder is often called like the good girls syndrome, or the good girls addiction, is because it's just, it's socially acceptable. It's not illegal to do that. You know what I mean? If you eat too much, you either get like fat or throw up. You know what I mean? You're not doing anything. It doesn't look belligerent. You can't go to jail for it, right? So a lot of the times it's just, it becomes that way. So it's like you're still a good girl, and really you're punishing yourself. When you overeat, you don't really punish anyone else really by that. So it's just this total way
self-punishment for sure.
Yeah.
What about you? I want to hear your opinion on that because we have different vibes on this. So like, yes, let's hear from you.
So I had like a Catholic upbringing too, and that definitely wasn't talked about. And if anything, it was talked about in a negative way, and it's just kind of like, that's bad. And it was like just anything like sex related, it seemed like it was bad, and there wasn't a lot of like talk about it. It was just kind of, that's it. And so, I don't know, I guess I could attribute it to my like contrarian nature. I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna accept that opinion. Just like a lot of other things that in my life, I was just like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna explore and figure out my own opinion about this. And and it also kind of tied to, I went to Catholic school, and I went to like a Catholic college. Okay. And then I don't know, maybe some kind of like rebellion thing. Like I don't know, need to follow this one line of thinking, and what are other, you know, people thinking about this, other cultures, whatever, and stuff like that. Just having like a exploratory type of attitude towards it.
That's cool.
And I think like going through a lot and being like, you know, shamed or whatever, like bullied, all those things. I was just like, okay, I'm done like feeling like a lot of shame and a lot of things about me that aren't true, and you know, coming from a place of having like really low self-esteem. So I just decided to rebuild that and create a new reality for myself.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel empowered around you, like how comfortable you are with sexuality and talking about it and everything. It's like that classic thing where a lot of people won't do it because they think, oh, I want people to feel comfortable around me. But if you really just stand up and just say like, hey, this is me, this is what I'm saying, people get inspired. I'm always inspired by you in many areas, but that specifically, I think, wow, that's great. I want to adopt that more for myself.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
It looks like we have some comments on here. So Allison, hi. She said, hey fat girls, looking fly, and I'm so ready to hear y'all drop some serious knowledge. Yay, thank you. We're glad you're here. And Naya's here. Hi Naya. Anybody else want to say hi and tell us where you're joining in from? And please type your questions and comments. Do you have Catholic guilt or do you not have Catholic guilt? That's the beginning question.
And so, yeah, I think like I was excited to do this topic also because when I start working with clients, I think a lot of people aren't aware of how interconnected your relationships are with food and you know, even the food cravings and your hunger regulation has on with your relationships, your body image, you being in love, or being like, if a relationship is ending and you're grieving, well, how does that affect your appetite? Obviously, typically we lose our appetite or we overeat. So,
or a lot of times the other thing is they get into a relationship and they start eating more.
Yes, that's another thing that I see a lot is that when you're, especially, yeah, at the beginning, it's kind of like, okay, well, let's go eat again. Or just drinking too much, maybe to be comfortable with the other person, or you just get in this habit of, you know, yeah, overeating when you don't need to.
I think a lot of times too, it's like a stagnancy, or like if you've been in a relationship for a while and you've gained a lot of weight, you know, it's like there's no like uncertainty. It's all just so certain. Like, yes, like we're gonna do this on Friday night. We're gonna have that. We're gonna see this. It just becomes this pattern and this monotony. And if you're not like mixing it up and keeping a little bit of uncertainty in your relationship,
absolutely,
you might get bored and then be eating as like a
way to like numb out. And
yeah,
I also think it's a way to kind of repress or dull like sexual urges, like even within a relationship. It's kind of like, okay, you know, everything becomes kind of monotone and it can become that way. Yeah, so it's really important to just never fully get comfortable. I'm a big believer in that. Don't like ever completely get just like stagnant and you know, start wearing your sweats, like get your hair looking cute. And you know, both people should always be trying, and you should always be like in that dating phase or striving for that, you know. It's not always the case, but
yeah, you want that spark still, like, oh wow. And it doesn't mean that every single day you have to like go over the top. It's just like have some spice, have a little spice in the relationship.
Yeah, and that goes a long way. It's also important to know your love language.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, so if you know your love language and you know the love language of your partner, you could constantly be serving each other in that way. So if you don't know love languages, we'll go over them right now. But if you go to 5lovelanguages.com, it kind of breaks it down for you, and you could really understand a lot more about yourself and other people. But like, so it's affection, physical touch is one, gifts are one, quality time is another one, acts of service, and then compliments or praise.
Yeah, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. So for me, mine is affection and quality time. Those are my like top two ones. And so if I have those in a relationship, I feel like very satisfied and like my needs are being met, like the person cares about me. If I don't, then I notice that, and like I've had times where I'll like eat too much because of it, and just kind of just to fill that void, because it's like I don't feel, you know, taken care of by whomever. And so yeah, that happens. But and then what was great about it, I was able to kind of recognize it at some point and be like, oh, okay, so this relationship isn't serving me, or being able to talk about it and be like, hey, can we change things?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that communication's huge.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, personally as well, mine is quality time and words of affirmation. And there was a while where my fiance Josh, he was out working all the time. And I couldn't really figure out why I was feeling so out of balance, and I was binge eating and I was overeating. And you know, he's sweet. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy, and he's always telling me I'm beautiful and always telling me, you know, how great he thinks I am and all those things. And I was trying to figure out why am I not feeling fulfilled.
Yeah.
But it was because I wasn't feeling like I had enough quality time with him.
Yeah.
So that can lead to this imbalance of overeating. And we really want you all to be super aware that this is something that happens. When you try on a diet and you do a new fitness style or a new fitness routine, one thing you're never looking at is, what's my love language and is it being met? Because although your diet might be great or this new style of eating for you is really good, if your love language isn't being met, you might be binge eating anyway. Because you can binge eat on healthy food.
Oh,
that's
for
the thing.
sure. Yeah, it doesn't, binge eating doesn't equal junk food. It can literally be anything. And that is just a tip for being in a relationship, because a lot of people just, they don't know. I think like someone's love language can get ignored, and then it just creates a lot of resentment. It's something that's actually really easy to fix.
It is.
Now, whether you're in a relationship or not, what's really important is to have all these needs met for yourself. So internally looking, because really at the end of the day, no one can completely fulfill you. No one can completely make you happy. You have to make yourself happy, right?
Yeah, that whole like, you complete me, as wonderful and romantic as that is, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't want
I
someone
agree.
to complete me. I want to complete me,
Yeah.
and then you compliment me.
Right.
Or you make my life bonus better.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly. And a lot of times I think when we use food inappropriately, it's because there's feelings of like shame, or you're lonely, or some kind of negative feeling that you are masking with that. So just first having that awareness and asking yourself, what can I do for myself to fix this situation, to help heal it, to move in the right direction? A book that I really, really like about this subject is called What Are You Really Hungry For? It's by Deepak Chopra. And he just really gets into it. And the main technique from that is it's basically mindfulness, like slowing down, because a lot of times when we're binge eating or stuffing food down to repress an emotion, it's just kind of, we're checked out. You're not completely present. So the whole thing is about meditating and being present. And even before eating, it's kind of like, okay, what am I really hungry for? Ask yourself and check in with yourself. It's not, a lot of times when you're new to this, it doesn't come up immediately, but it's just creating a pattern about, what am I hungry for? You'll start to realize.
Such a good question.
So many things will come up, and it's an instantaneous way to heal yourself from negative eating patterns.
Yes. And what's your love language? For all of our viewers watching right now, we want to know if you're aware of your love language. Tell us, write it in the comments below. It's kind of just a fun thing to discuss with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also just on a biochemical level, when you overeat or have a binge relationship with food, it does create like this serotonin, dopamine effect in your body. And so that's why the cycle can continue on that level. And oftentimes it's just like our bodies, our brains like dopamine and serotonin. And so, we'll want that again. And the thing that you want to do is create, patterns around, creating new behaviors where you can still get those dopamine and serotonin things. Like mine is working out. And sex, that works too, right? Right, Steph?
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know, I'm just like a physical kinesthetic person. So those things work well for me. Meditating, if I can get there, like meditating often creates like a serotonin type of response for me. Now also sometimes people that are naturally low in serotonin or dopamine will do things like binge eat. I mean, it could really be anything, like binge shopping, alcoholism, anything like that. So the thing is that, so what like makes you excited? Dancing, going for a run, like what gets your dopamine levels up that serves you, that will make you a better person tomorrow? Write a list, see what comes up. What are some of yours?
Yeah, for me it's physical activity also. Like as much as when I'm in that mode of like resistance and wanting to binge eat, the last thing I want to do is do something that's gonna make me better, because my brain is wired a certain way, but when I can just say, no, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna go for a run. Sometimes a run seems a lot at that moment. And I'm gonna go for a walk. And sometimes a walk seems like a lot. And sometimes it's like, Steph, just go outside.
Right.
Like just step your 2 feet out the door. You can do that. Everything changes. I mean, just like look up at the sky. And then once you feel good like that, then maybe you want to walk. And then when you're walking feels good, maybe you want to start to run. It's like just getting yourself in that feeling better mode, better, is really helpful. It's so big.
Yes, absolutely.
Naya says, I love to dance. I wish I could have sex all day.
Yes. I'm talking about Naya.
Yeah, dancing is a fantastic one, and sex is great too. So we're physical as human beings.
Our body.
It's within our nature. You know, sitting behind a desk, sitting at a chair all day long is not really what we're designed to do, not really what our bodies are made for. When we move, it's like this like hallelujah to our bodies. It's what we feel best doing. So that whole movement practice, no matter what you're doing, is really good for the mind.
And that's that's a good segue to talk about another technique. It's a mindfulness technique, and it's just checking in with your body and asking yourself, what is my body trying to tell me now? Your body has more wisdom than anything else about you. Your body holds the answers to everything. Our brains are, just conditioned responses that have been going on since you were, born, right? So our brains are very limited in a lot of ways, even though in our society, we give like the mind and the brain a lot of credit. Your body is what has the answers to things. When you get sick, it's for a very specific reason. Maybe fear is coming up. If you're, butterflies in your stomach or something in your heart, we all have those. Those are indicators of something. But when you become more and more sensitive and ask your body more and more questions, you get more and more answers. What people like often refer to as intuitive or psychic stuff is just like that information's already there. Some people are just more sensitive and know how to interpret it better, but that's how a lot of like psychics and intuitives get their information, is through your body. So constantly asking yourself, what is my body trying to tell me right now? And don't worry if you don't get like this, profound, like the clouds part type of answer the very first time, or, a few that you try it, but keep asking yourself. Create neural pathways that allow you to just access that information that your body is like screaming, trying to let you know. Because I tell you, like, especially with cravings for certain things, it's your body's actually just trying to tell you something else. When I'm craving sugar, it's like either because I'm freaking tired and I haven't slept enough, or like I need comfort, like someone's not like fulfilling me, or like, like whatever, I wanted a response from someone and didn't get it. And so that's when I have my two like sugar cravings mostly.
Yeah, I noticed that with a lot of the clients that I work with, by about the 1 month point, give or take a couple weeks, everybody starts to have their food intuition come back.
Yeah.
The intuition you're talking about with your body, the same intuition that'll tell you like what kind of workout you need, or any of the above, is going to tell you exactly what you need to eat. Like you get to a point where you go into the grocery store and you look at the food and you go, cucumber, ground beef, tomato, and it's like, why did I just pick those? It's because your body intuitively knew that you need the vitamins and minerals in that specific food.
Yeah.
And when I first went to nutrition school, they started talking about cravings. And I was like, wow, this is fascinating. I love this. And I'm like, okay, what causes this craving? What food nutrient do you need to fulfill this certain craving? And they started going into that it's not always food, that it's an emotional thing, which is what you're bringing up. And I went, whoa, that is so much deeper. And when I started to notice that within myself, it's like, yes, like there are some very specific cravings that come up for me in really specific emotions. So yeah, like every day we deal with something happening between another human being that doesn't go exactly as we expect it to. Therefore, an emotion comes up within us, and then a craving of some sort might pop up as well.
Right. And like, you know, talking about clients, and I've had a few clients who their mother has passed away, and they've all had a similar thing. They're like, my mom passed away. I got back from the funeral and I sat down in front of a cake or like a box of whatever and ate the whole thing. And I don't know why. That's what they all say. And I go, well, and we'll explore it, but like food, especially like sweets and that type of stuff, it has this like nurturing quality to it. And most of our moms
The
like
texture
baked,
too.
yeah, the texture. And so,
Comforting.
yeah, it's very comforting. Like, and that's what we typically associate with our mothers. It's very comforting. And it's kind of like if you're going through something, it's like, oh, I want my mom or I want to talk to her. So just knowing that obviously it's not about the cake or whatever dessert it was. It's about, I need to be comforted right now. And I lost this big source of comfort. So just knowing, just being aware, and it's okay. Like if you still eat whatever it is, it's fine. Just having an awareness around it is what's important.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. And then part of my life, I spent a lot of time going on honesty retreats, and then started leading some of my own retreats that integrated these honesty practices in. And what you learn is just how much everybody's stuffing down emotionally. And it really fuels a lot of why Lauren and I have the private practices that we have with clients one-on-one. It's just allowing somebody a space to release things or speak about things that normally they would never say out loud. And because you never speak it or take time to see it, you never know that that's how you truly feel. And once you know how you really feel, then you can move through it, and you can make the more, not logical, but more rational choices.
Or the choice that serves you best.
Choice
the
that
highest
serves you
and
best.
Yeah, the
I like
highest
that.
and best choice at that moment. And you know, that's what we're all about. So when you are able to heal that, guess what? Your career gets better, your health gets better, your wealth gets better, your relationships get better, because everything really is interconnected. So it's like if you're having an issue with food, that's going to affect how you feel about your body, and then maybe you don't like it, it makes your sex life suffer, and then there's a lot of distance, and then, you know, when you're at work, you're not performing as well, because it's just so everything can go in one direction or another. And then, you know, when you're able to heal that area, then you're feeling more confident. Confidence is the most potent thing, and it's a really good way to just make everything in your life on fleek. So when you are able to heal whatever, you know, you've been masking with food, and that becomes better, guess what? Your body's looking fly, and then and then your relationships get better. You're making more money at work because you're more confident about your abilities and your ability to provide value to people. And then you have more money.
Yeah.
So it all goes together. It's really important. This isn't just like some isolated subject.
Yeah.
So.
I've got a specific example to give, a personal example that I'm ready to say.
Yeah.
So for me, the intimacy factor, I have this ticklish thing. So I'm very ticklish, whether intimate or not. I'm a ticklish person in certain parts of my body. And when it comes to being intimate, I get really uncomfortable to be touched, and like, you know, whatever way it might be. And a lot of that, the tickling, we talked about in the disease video about how disease is dis-ease, and it's created from a dis-ease of emotion or a fear or a lack or whatnot. And I got the opportunity to really dig into this ticklishness and notice that it's just a creation of my mind. Like, my ticklish was not that I'm really ticklish, I'm legitimately ticklish, don't touch me. It's not really that. It's really more of an uncomfortability of the whole sexuality thing in general. Growing up Catholic, it's really wrong. It's taught to you that it's wrong to be intimate with someone. And, you know, it's always in conflict with what human nature is,
Right.
which is to be intimate. Connection is what humans are created for.
Yeah.
And so you have these two things that are battling against each other, like, yes, this is something that instinctually I want to do, but in the back of my mind, something says, you're bad if you do this. So I created this whole ticklish, don't touch me kind of thing. And seeing it from a perspective of like personal development and growth, I got to realize that that doesn't have to happen anymore. And I allow myself to become comfortable and not judgmental of myself or saying that this is wrong or this is bad or whatnot. It's being really kind to myself and saying like, hey, the same way I'm really kind to myself with food, it's like, oh, you're a human being. It's okay. Like, you're really cute. You're just a little human doing human things.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, you can change your biochemistry, your, you know, the way your body responds to things by shifting, well, by having an awareness of it and then rewiring your brain. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, the ticklish, it's not about the ticklishness. It's about feeling like I need a barrier. A lot of times when people gain a lot of weight, it's to literally put up a barrier. So it's like, look, I'm not attractive, the fat suit, like I'm not going there. Like, so, I like that a lot. And like human beings are sensual people. And by sensual, I mean like of the senses, not just like sex stuff, which is part of it. But so we get to enjoy food, like really enjoy food and enjoy our bodies and enjoy sex, enjoy physical activity. We get to enjoy all of that. We're meant to enjoy all of it. And you know, a lot of the reason, or a big part of the reason that we go out to dinner when we're dating someone is because food is like this sensual thing that you do, like, you know, and it's like you have all the senses engaged when you're eating. And so, yeah.
And think about this. How many of these senses or sensual experiences are you allowing yourself to truly feel? A lot of people aren't experiencing any.
Yeah.
A lot of people are shoving food down their faces and not really enjoying the food. A lot of people are not enjoying their intimate experiences with their partner. A lot of people are not enjoying the physical experience of working out. Like all these things, like you get to have, but
you're in your body.
We're like,
so. Yeah, you're in your body, so whether you like it or not. So you might as well get to know it, ask it what it wants, what it needs. And sometimes that's a nap. Sometimes that is a run. Sometimes that's a fucking piece of chocolate, so let yourself eat it. It's fine, you know? It's just, we want everything like in moderation, which is actually our next topic next week. It's gonna be super fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. But anyway, so yeah, you want everything kind of in balance and to just enjoy what you're doing. And another thing I wanted to mention is that like I think a lot of times what comes up for people is the stress and anxiety piece and depression. Stress, anxiety, and depression. So anxiety is fear, worry about the future. Depression is holding on to the past and having negative feelings attached to the past. And both create a lot of stress. So recognizing if you're eating for one of those reasons, what do I need to let go of right now? What do I need? It's in the past, you know. Whomever already forgot about it, and you get to too. You have to release it so you can move on. Holding on to things, even being like nostalgic, or it's not healthy. Let it go so you're creating space for more positive things to come in. And
I like that. Yeah. You did this. I think that's the perfect. You don't even have to say it. You can just go like, let it go.
Let it go. And then the same thing with anxiety about the future. Remember, thoughts are things. So if you are stressing about something that hasn't happened, your mind is creating that. So I know it takes a lot of discipline because we have been taught to do other things, but knowing that thoughts are things and your thoughts create your reality, if you're stressed about something, you get to envision exactly what you want to happen and believe it in every cell in your body. It's the best way, one of the best ways to mitigate anxiety and also create for yourself whatever you want in your life.
Yeah, and I think if you were to create a list, and you had one person who is in great shape and one person who's overweight, and you'd write on that list every thought that they had all day long. Nobody's gonna be perfect and have all great positive thoughts, but the person who is in better shape has more positive thoughts about themselves and their body, and the person who is in less great shape is just having a lot more thoughts of just like, I shouldn't eat that, why did I eat that, why didn't I work out today, like a lot of like guilt and unhappy
Self-loathing, yeah,
so
and judgment.
Like Lauren said, that your thoughts create your things, your thoughts create your body, your thoughts create your living space, your thoughts create
and that's why often
everything.
we talk about like positive self-talk and mantras around that, even if you don't believe them at first.
A big part of last 5 to 15. We have a lot of epic mantras that are super powerful.
Absolutely. And it's just, even if you totally don't believe them at first, just saying them. I mean, it could be a mantra like, I am whatever like weight you want to be, or I am super beautiful, and like, you know, whatever it is, whatever your growing edge is, create a mantra around that. Like, I mean, one of mine is like, everything always goes right for me. Yeah. Just to like rewire, like, oh, you know, my whole thing, like just negative thinking, everything always goes right for me all the time. I say that. So yeah, can you see what night, like,
oh yeah, she said something earlier, huh?
Sorry.
Okay. How do you allow yourself to leave a relationship without being drawn to negative binging habits? Because one of my love languages is overindulgence. JK. Okay, so how do you allow yourself to leave a relationship without being drawn to negative binging habits? Great question.
So what I'm hearing, thank you, Naya.
Marie's here.
Hi, Marie. Thank you, Naya, for that. So what I'm hearing is that when you leave a relationship, you cope with grief by eating, like that comfort that it brings. And then, you know, we do feel an emptiness inside when we leave a relationship, even though it could be a relationship, obviously it's a relationship that's not serving you. So the first thing I think is really important is to know that you did something that was a form of self-care.
Yes.
By taking care, you know, you were taking care of yourself by leaving a relationship that doesn't serve you.
So that's like, yay, party.
Yay,
good job.
Yeah. And then also connecting with friends that can reinforce that for you. And like, I think that helps fill some of the emptiness inside. But also I think it's important to know that no matter what, like when you leave a relationship, you're gonna feel that way, and just allow yourself to feel empty. Like, just sit like in a meditation where you're like lying on your back or whatever, and let yourself feel that. Let it just move through you. There's no point. It'll stay there longer if you try to suppress it or fill it with food.
And let it bring you to tears even.
Yes, that's what it's just about to say. Yeah. Grieve, like grieving is part of human existence, and it's important to do properly. And it sucks. I'm not saying it's easy to do, and you know, if it's a relationship that, you know, it's not serving you and you initiate the breakup, it might be, you know, you'll move through it pretty quickly, but allow yourself to grieve. Is just really important. And have an awareness, like when you're moving towards the kitchen for something that you know is just to mask it, just be like, okay, I'm gonna stop. Yeah. And I'm gonna go cry for a little bit.
Yes.
Or I'm gonna journal about how I'm feeling right now. Yeah. Instead, so you're actually speeding up the process of grieving.
Yeah, it's almost like when you aren't moving through the emotions, like we talked about all the retreats, and I saw the things that people have been suppressing, and through our private coaching practices, we see all the things people never talk about. It's like almost wearing a badge on you if you don't process it, and it never leaves. So, or let's just say you're wearing a fat suit. Maybe you put on a fat jacket because you never dealt with the fact that that really hurt you, or that really like took away a piece of your confidence. And a way to get a piece of confidence back is through really feeling the emotion and really truly grieving, like Lauren's talking about, you know, 100%, and coming back to self-care, because what you resist persists. And if you are resisting the fact that you maybe feel you shouldn't cry, or maybe you feel like you shouldn't talk about it or write about it, or yell.
I think it's even experience it, right? Like we're taught to fear like negative emotions and things, but those things make you a stronger person and make you a more evolved person. Like, you know, getting through something and not getting through it and just being attached to like, oh, and I'm a victim because of that. No, that's not actually that's being stuck in victim mode.
Yes.
But we're talking about getting through something and learning from that experience, because every hardship is an opportunity to learn about yourself and grow.
Rapid growth.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I've had a lot of growth in this area, because a lot of, you know, I've broken up with a few people, and I'm like, why the fuck did I even date that motherfucker? Like, he's so, like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking about myself to even put myself in a position where I energetically attracted that person?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes,
So,
yes,
but
yes,
when you are able to do that, one, you learn a lot about yourself, because the people that you attract into your life are a reflection of you. So, and when you get rid of people, that no longer serve you, what you're saying is that that is not part of me, and I am no longer allowing that to be part of my existence. So it's a good thing.
It's a really good thing. Once you can move through it successfully and in a healthy way, you're gonna notice that you do attract all the really good, powerful things. One thing I just want to bring up really quick on this topic before we move to the next is that recently I went, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, you need to allow yourself to process. So I went through a really good experience being on this Lake Powell retreat with the Redmond company. It was phenomenal and it was wonderful, and it was just such an inspiration to what I desire my business, my company to grow into. And I had a 4-hour drive home from Las Vegas, a quiet drive. My fiance was fast asleep, and I kept wanting to turn on an audiobook and listen to it, and I kept saying, no, you need to like fully process what just happened.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's gonna be like, that was a great experience, on to the next. But I knew if I allowed myself to process it, that I can integrate it into my life in such a powerful way. So I really sat with it, and I kept saying, oh no, that's all I have to think about. Let me just put this audiobook on and entertain myself. But I was resisting it because I wasn't allowing myself to truly go there, because I knew a breakthrough was in it. And I wasn't allowing myself to do it, but I never turned the audiobook on, and yes, the breakthrough came. And I'm able to really apply all the things I loved about that into my life. Same thing with the negative stuff. It might not feel like you want to do it, but spending that time it's the most important thing you could do.
It really is. And then when you do that, your life gets so much better. Like when my relationship with food got better, obviously, you know, my body changed in a positive way. And then that changed my relationships. I mean, people that did not serve me fell off. I mean, like they just went away. Like it was like magic almost. I was just like, okay, yeah, we lost touch, and I'm not sad about that at all. So that's why this work is so important, and really processing it and being willing to just go through those emotions that, you know, need to be dealt with finally.
Yeah, and getting to attract all the great things in.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, going back to what are you really,
And I said, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
She said, same.
Yeah. So, again, continue to ask yourself, what am I really craving? What is this? Loneliness is a big one for people, I think. Having shame about something, and it could be something from a long time ago, or, you know, just something that you're probably confabulating in your head that isn't even true. Something like a story that your parents told you or something like that.
Or ask yourself the time of day that you're getting a craving or something along those lines. Like, I just watched a pattern of behavior of my parents, and you know, it was like morning is just like, yeah, and then when it comes to evening, it's kind of more like wind down time. And I noticed that, like, I was very integrated in with my mom and dad, my family, and when I went and moved out and I was on my own, morning was still like, yeah, but then evening was like lonely. Because it was like, well, in the evening we all kind of like winded down and like hung out together. So I found myself like eating at that time, and like at that time I guess I just really wanted a hug or a conversation. And those are easy things to replace, but if you never understand that that's what you need, then you never go get it. So it'd be easy to say, hey Lauren, you want to come over and hang out, you know, this evening or whatnot, or hey, just go give somebody a hug or whatever. But if I never thought like, well, why do I eat a lot at night, then I never would have realized like it's because I'm looking for something that I grew up having and I don't have it right now.
Right. That's a huge one. So I think that's all of our techniques. And again, just pausing, having that moment of silence. Integrating meditation is good into your daily practice because you'll see it show up. You'll have more mindfulness around what you're eating. Eating slowly. Remember, being in joy with your food. Low power. Oh, so like, ask yourself, what are you really hungry for? It's an important one. And then doing the work on yourself to fulfill whatever need it is. If you have a partner, yes, going over love languages, and you know, getting your needs met in that way, but also how can you meet your own needs?
Yeah. And a book I wanted to reference too is Integrative Nutrition by Joshua Rosenthal. And he was the founder of the nutrition school I went to called Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And he talks about primary food, which is not even food.
Yeah. Primary
food is that thing that when you're a kid and you're outside and you're playing and your mom's like, come on in, it's time for dinner, and you're like, 5 more minutes, I just want to keep playing. Your primary food, you're so fulfilled playing outside that food is secondary. And you want to create a lifestyle where you are so fulfilled on every level that food is secondary. Food is the bonus.
And by the way, it is possible to have whatever your dream life is. I think we as are very big proponents of that. It's, you know, to follow your passions, and you deserve that, and it's possible. Because if whatever, you know, thoughts or, you know, dreams or aspirations you have are what you're meant to be doing. So holding those, and like play is so important. Even when I teach yoga, I'm like, play in this pose, like play around, see if you take a new variation or a more advanced variation and play with it. Everything happens and everything can come into your life sooner if you are having fun doing it, right?
Yes.
Just for fun, I'm gonna go do this. Just for fun, I'm gonna test drive this car, whatever it is. Have that playful mindset.
Yeah. Food should be fun. You should play while you eat. You should play while you work out. It doesn't have to be this regimented, awful thing.
Yeah.
So one very cool thing that we can't wait to tell you about is that we're doing a Labor Day special on the Blast to Last 5 to 15 pounds, and we're super pumped. It's a great price already, but we were like, hey, it's Labor Day and we feel like being fancy, so we're gonna throw in a little thing that's gonna last through the weekend, through Monday. And we really hope that you tell your friends and family about it. We hope you join it yourselves, because everybody's got that last little 5 to 15 that they want to get off. And you
could also do it if you, you know, want to lose more weight. It's a definitely good way to jumpstart, because all of everything that we do is mindset based. So you'll really get like the brain wired in the right way.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's important, because yes, this is a full holistic way of losing weight and changing your body. It's really the permanent way to weight loss.
I know.
And we created it because Lauren and I got together and we were like, let's hold each other to our goals. And one of our goals was to just drop a little of that extra weight that we put on from random stuff. And we did it in this way of combining forces, and it worked so well that we were like, hey, we have to share this with everyone. And we laid it out in a really cool way. We can't wait to share it with you. One thing we want to remind you to do is join the Fat Girl Fitness family group page on Facebook. It's a private group, it's free, and we give lots of free info on there and goodies. There is a free video training series that we created on our website, fatgirlfitness.com. That's PHATT Girl Fitness. And 3 videos, completely free, talks about what foods you should eat that are marketed as, or what foods you shouldn't eat that are marketed as healthy but aren't actually healthy. We have a full workout that you can do for your booty and your abs. That's awesome.
You're talking about the Dream Body Project?
The Dream Body Project, yes.
So if you go to our website, it's a free video training series called the Dream Body Project it's just free information for y'all.
You're gonna love it. Motivation and maintenance video in there too. It's good stuff. And the other thing is subscribe to our YouTube channel, because all of our episodes of Fat Girl Fitness are on there. They're all organized, so you can watch all the different topics, and they're good. They're fun.
Yay.
So we're glad that you joined us today. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.